What's up guys, hope you're all doing great. This is Kobe Shots again and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something very different from what I've been doing here on my YouTube channel. And it is all about something that we all normally go through as creators, especially YouTubers, as well as any kind of creator whatsoever. Sometimes it's very difficult to remember your lines when you know very well that you've been able to memorize them, and when you find yourself right in front of the camera, you begin to fumble on your words. You begin to forget. It seems like all the words that you had in your head, all the points that you jotted down have all evaporated. And this normally happens. It really happens often, even to people who persistently film videos or create content. And what if I told you that I have a solution for this? Yes, let's get right into the video and let's discuss how we can solve this problem of forgetting our words when we jump right in front of the camera. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about to you is just a simple device that is made of glass and any kind of material for the body. It could be in wood or plastic. It comes in a lot of shapes, sizes, and forms in general. And if you want to get one for yourself, you can either create one or you can order from any online store such as Amazon, B&H, or any other online store that you can find gadgets for filmmaking. And this device is none other than a teleprompter. A teleprompter is a device that is used to project words, text, or scripts in general for a reader to read. A typical example is that of the newscasters or the broadcasters, the newsreaders that we see on TV every time. They read from teleprompters and their scripts are always projected on the teleprompter and they read out towards the camera, and it reflects one way, meaning that the camera is positioned behind the teleprompter and the text is reflected on the other side for the reader to read. And this design ensures that the camera doesn't capture or doesn't see any text at all crawling upwards, and on the other side the newscaster can read the script to make it seem as if they are speaking out of their minds. To give you a typical example of how a teleprompter looks like, I'm going to show you what I made for myself. I practically made it out of wood with a sheet of glass that is going to be used to project the script. So this is a very typical traditional DIY teleprompter that anyone can make. In fact, you can also make. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make one out of how I made mine from start to finish. I personally didn't create this as in myself. I designed it and I went out to woodworkers and where to find glass to fix it and put it together. But I needed to have a sketch or sketches to describe exactly how I wanted it to be made. And if you look at this particular teleprompter that I made, it has a huge form. Normally it shouldn't come in that form. For example, if you are using it for a day-to-day activity, for instance, there are some teleprompters that can be fixed right in front of the camera, exactly attached to the lens. You can purchase that online. I think Podcaster and I think other companies make those. But if you don't want to wait over or you don't want to spend nothing, you can find around you any kind of wood. You can find plywood, but I decided to make this a little bit durable because I was thinking about using it for a longer time. So you can find yourself as well plywood, or you can even use cardboard, any kind of straw board that has durability and thickness of some sort, and it needs to be solid so that you can put them together. Probably you can adhere them with glue and insert glass, or sometimes if you want to go safe without using a piece of glass, you can rather use acrylic in place of it. So let's get into how I created my teleprompter so that you can also create yours in the comfort of your home. Alright, so how I created my teleprompter is very simple. The first thing that you have to have in mind is that you're going to use the teleprompter for this or that or that. I decided to create my teleprompter for a range of mobile devices such as tablets and mobile phones, and so I decided to make it larger so that it could accommodate any sort of size of a tablet any general tablet, be it an iPad or a mobile phone or any Android tablets within the range of a reasonable size. After deciding on the size and how I was going to create it, I then started drawing some things down, sketching all kinds of forms and sizes and shapes and how to make it work. But before that, I forgot to mention this. I normally do research before I create anything of any sort. Sometimes it's ideal to purchase the product so that you can escape all the steps into creating it yourself. But if you don't want to spend anything and you want to have an experience of how you can create it, you can be creative and put it together for yourself. And that's the same thing that went along with my creation of my teleprompter. So I drew down the dimensions in respect to the sketches, made sure that everything was vivid. I made sure that I used a rule to create all the lines and made everything straight, and I wrote along the edges the dimensions so that I could keep everything intact in the right way and to make it symmetric. So the material that I decided to use was wood, because wood is very easy to access. I practically have plyboards lying around here in the house, so I picked one up and I head straight to the woodworker. When I got to him, he looked at the wood that I presented to him and realized that it was thin for what I had described I wanted to create, and so he recommended one that was right behind him. He picked it up and it was a little bit thicker and stronger than what I brought over. So he put them together, and with my supervision, we drew all the dimensions right on the wood and he cut them into the right sizes. So when he nailed them together and glued all the necessary parts together, I sent it all the way to town, somewhere I could find some glass to put it in. So the same way, there are dimensions to make sure that the glass was cut in the right size, and after I inserted it, it was ready for use. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can use your teleprompter, how you can reflect, and the way that you can use your mobile phone or any kind of mobile device like a tablet to project onto the teleprompter and how to read from it. I have described how you can use a teleprompter, and how you can use a teleprompter can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes you will find people using teleprompters and you can readily tell and notice that they are reading from something or they are reading a script of some sort. That is when they didn't use the teleprompter in the right manner to hide all kinds of ambiguity that they are reading from something. And so I'm going to show to you how you can use the teleprompter and convince people or escape the fact that people are going to find out that you used a teleprompter. So it's simple to set a teleprompter up. I designed my teleprompter, giving it a little bit of a mount designed for a tripod, so I could adjust the height of the teleprompter to my level, or depending on what I'll be sitting on, or if I will be standing, I could adjust the height to the right height. A simple trick about getting away with people noticing that you are reading from a script or you're reading from a teleprompter is that you should keep a little bit of a distance from the teleprompter. So if you're short-sighted, keep it in a reasonable distance so that you can still read from it. And also, the app that I'll be recommending to you can be used to change the font size and do a little bit of editing to your script before you position it right under the glass of the teleprompter to read it out. So when you have your teleprompter set up and you position your seat or wherever you'll be standing a reasonable distance, you will position your camera right behind the teleprompter and you find something to cover the entire setup over the camera so that no light seeps into the teleprompter to cause any kind of reflections. If you're looking at creating a teleprompter for yourself, be very careful about the kind of glass or acrylic that you go for. One thing that I noticed when I went for the glass, and I want to inform you so that you don't make that same mistake, is that glass comes with a lot of properties depending on how thick or how thin they can be. So if you intend on using a thin glass just because you want to make your teleprompter durable in terms of the glass inside, then you're going to risk a lot of ghosting of your text when you reflect it against the glass. So to get rid of this or to avoid this at all, try to find thin glass or thin acrylic so that your ghosting will be little even if they are going to be there. And in addition to the design of the teleprompter, the glass that is used to reflect the text is supposed to be slid into the teleprompter in a 45-degree angle so that it can reflect the text in a way that if you're seated right in front of the teleprompter, to look as if the text is in a straight vertical form, and that will ensure an easy read and an effective and efficient use of a teleprompter. The app that you see me use is the Parrot teleprompter app, and it's actually designed by Podcaster, which they use for their teleprompters, and it comes with a remote. If you actually go for the Podcaster teleprompter, it comes with a lot of other accessories and a lot of options and filter threads, so that if you're using varying lenses, you can use the threads to reduce the size or increase the size, so you can attach the teleprompter on any kind of lens within the range of the filter threads that you have. And because the Podcaster teleprompter comes with a remote, you can easily set back and control the text, the speed of the text, as well as change the flow so that you can keep it in a reasonable speed for you to be able to read, depending on how fast or how slow you want the text to crawl upwards. And because we decided to make one for ourselves, all by ourselves, we are not going to be having a remote control to use. However, we can still use the teleprompter app, and with the touch screen of our phones or our mobile device, we can change the speed. We can go into the settings of the app and change the settings to our taste so that we can still use it. But the downside of this is that if you miss a word or you fumble on your words in any way, you are going to have to walk all the way to the teleprompter and send the text back to where you want it to get to so you can resume your read. But this shouldn't be a hindrance. You can still go ahead making your own teleprompter and still use it just like any professional would do. So there you have it. If you have problems with remembering your lines when you sit in front of the camera, even after you've been able to memorize your lines, then you have a solution. You can make yourself a teleprompter, or you can order one from any online store, be it Amazon, B&H, eBay, or anywhere you can find one, and use it so that you can have the confidence when you sit in front of the camera and read a script and make it seem as if you are actually saying all your lines or saying all your words offhand. On this note, this brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoy this video, please give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends so that they can also see what content I am creating over here on my YouTube channel. And please, if you're new on this channel, kindly subscribe and do me a favor by turning the post notification button on so that you'll be notified of all future videos. Until the next video, I'll catch you later. See you.